my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
Big finish now.
God gives me everything. Everything I need.
That's how we do vibrato when we can't sing. Just picture it. Yes. So how's everybody doing? Good to see you all here in the house today. Good to see you online, and I can see every one of you. Those are pretty nice jammies you have on out there. Good to have you all with us. My name's Reverend Dr. Michael McMorrow. I'm the senior minister, spiritual director to some here at the Granada Hills. We are located in the North San Fernando Valley. We are a faith community that welcomes all who practice their beliefs in faith and love. And we're joined today, our musical inspiration is the Mr. Jason Goldstein, the professor of love. And our presider, are you ready for this? Can I get a drum roll? Our presider for March 3rd, 2023, is our pastor emeritus, Reverend Dr. Maureen Hoyt. Joined by Eric Hodges, our official candle lighter for the morning. All right, so what do you say we start by taking a deep, conscious breath? You can come on up here. Rico Suave. Come on up. Yeah. We need you to light. Light my fire, light my fire. All right, let's take a deep, conscious breath. Hey, Saul, how you doing, buddy? As we release, allow ourselves to anchor into this eternal now moment as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Now, fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this morning. So as Eric lights the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. The fifth candle we light for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the 7th candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the 8th candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the 9th candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And the 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space we hold for them here at our center. And as Eric lights the healing candle, perhaps remembering Reverend Nancy this morning as she's tending to her family back east, that she can someday soon find her way home. Please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
There is one flame that burns in our hearts. There is one light that shines through our love. We light this flame with faith. We light this flame with faith. We find this light within our own souls. There is one flame, one light within.
And please join me in consciousness as we go within, knowing that that light is the eternal light. It is the one light that is God. That as we join together in consciousness this morning, whether physically or whether from a distance, knowing that there is one mind, one power, one presence, one divine idea in the universe, and that divine idea demonstrates itself by each one of us here today and those listening on the live stream, and every other person on this planet. And so I know that God so loved itself that it needed form to express, and it expresses as each one of us. And so we set the tone today for this time together with our beautiful music, the message from Reverend Dr. Mike, and the sense of community that we feel when in the company of every other person here today. It is a celebratory feeling. It is a joyous feeling. And that feeling persists as we move about the business of our day today, knowing that God in its infinite wisdom knows exactly what it is that I need, what I desire, and what I demonstrate in my life. I simply have to be open and receptive to it. So from this place in consciousness, I joyfully receive and give thanks today, knowing that our time together is fruitful, God is in the mix, all is well, as we say together, and so it is. So, good morning. Good morning. You know, a lot of times when I'm in a state of consciousness that is a little bit irritated, I discover that there's something that I need to know about that irritation. And this was one of those kinds of weeks. Now, I'm not going to say 24/7 because some really good things happened this week. But the focus of attention that I had was on the irritations. And I want to say that I'm not proud to stand up here and say that that's exactly what happened to me. But I just want you to understand, I've been in this movement since 1974. For the first 10 years, it was on and off. It was, you know, come here, go there. I would visit various churches, and yet I found myself this week in fear, uncertainty, and doubt on so many different levels. And the interesting thing that Ernest Holmes said, that we don't deny the conditions, but we deny the power the conditions have over us. And I wasn't even doing that. I wasn't. I was so in the conditions, you have no idea, up to my knees in alligators. It didn't last the whole entire week. I'm glad to be able to say that to you. But the culmination of it was such an awareness that I needed to get centered, because the thing that turned me around was the fact that one of my best friends had adopted a foster dog who had been neglected, and she went to the store to get some food for the dog. We picked the dog up on Tuesday night, and this was Thursday. She left the dog in her home, which is closed up, everything was good, with the patio door just a little bit open so the dog could go out if she needed to. Well, that dog burrowed under the fence and got out. And it was late in the day, and all I could think of was she's surrounded by coyotes in the canyons where she lives. And the dog was trying to use self-preservation, something just to get away. She was so terrified. Anyway, to make a long story short, I did my best, damn it, spiritual mind treatment. Damn it, that dog is not going to get lost. That dog is not going to get caught by the coyotes. I mean, I was sincere in my damn it treatment. And some of you may not know that kind of treatment yet, but I'll share with you at another time how I learned it. The 3-year-old in me that was terrified for the dog, you know, stomped my foot and said, I want this dog to be found, and found right now. So I went into that space. I did the treatment, and all of a sudden, this incredible warmth washed over me. And I do think I might have a ghost in my house, but my cat was clearly traumatized by something, because she was on me like she couldn't get close enough to me. So she was probably feeling the energy of what was going on inside of me. Anyway, to make a long story short, I get a text. We found the dog. She's home. Everything's fine. And I just could breathe again. And I don't know, you know, if sometimes we think we get a little complacent about our spirituality, like everything's going hunky-dory, so everything, you know, looks good, so why sort of bother to go inside to find the answers when the logical mind wants to find the answers on the outside? Well, the first slide that comes up from me is from Maya Angelou, and she said, if we must look back, do so forgivingly. I forgave myself for all the stuff that went on prior to. If we must look forward, do so lovingly. Well, I think that one should be number one, actually. However, the wisest thing we can do is to be in the present gratefully. The dog got found, and actually she was about 25 feet from my friend's house, behind the air conditioner, because that was a safe place for her. So Maya Angelou is right. The wisest thing we can do is to be in the present gratefully. The other part of this is the next slide. And you can all take a screenshot of this one if you want to, because I've been saying it for the last 3 days. My friend Johnny Rossetti, who belongs to the Fort Lauderdale CSL, posted this one. He said, "Today I have the dawning awareness that it may be more useful for me to become intimately acquainted with the nature of my experience than to try to figure out the cause of it." Whoa, yeah, silver bullet time. Bite on the silver bullet with this one. We always think we have to figure out why things happen. We don't. We don't have to figure out anything. We just have to know intrinsically that God is in the mix and all is well. And so it is.
Thank you. That was beautiful. All right, here we go.
Here comes the sun. Yeah, here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Yeah, little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Yeah, here comes the sun, and I say, yeah, it's alright. Yeah, little darling, the smiles returning to their faces. Yeah, little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Yeah, here comes the sun. Yeah, here comes the sun, and I say, yeah, it's alright. Little darling, I feel that ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Yeah, here comes the sun. Yeah, here comes the sun, and I say, yeah, it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright.
That is kind of weird. I woke up singing that song this morning. I'm telling you, it poured all night in Thousand Oaks, and I thought, okay. And then the sun was out first thing this morning. I'm so happy, so happy. So we have some announcements, and they're here. Okay, so practitioners are available in the treatment room, and any of us who are here today that are practitioners, put your hands up so we can see who you are. Oh, everybody could have a treatment today. If you'd like prayer support anytime during the week, the phone numbers are available on the website. Save the date. The annual general meeting will be Sunday, March 17th. And it's an important time for us here because you're going to find out all kinds of wonderful things about what this center is doing and how they're doing it. You're going to find out how wonderful Reverend Mike is on so many different levels, and that we have this incredible system of volunteers here that are doing such really wonderful work. So there will be a potluck after the meeting. The meeting happens directly after the service, and there will be a potluck. So put your name on the list for bringing some kind of food, and you'll have a chance to meet and greet one another afterwards. Pardon me? Or for cleanup, yeah. Well, the cleanup part is very important because there have been many times when I was here as a minister when I was the only one left. And yeah, we forget sometimes.
Really makes you grateful, too.
Yeah, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, yes. So we, Wake is the discovery class that we did that already. But
doing it today,
I'm
right?
going to do a new one today.
And you can explain the goddammit treatment.
I can. Yes, I can. I didn't say the God part. I only said the damn it part.
My mistake.
Yes, well, I was going to explain it later. Yes, okay, I'm doing a discovery class today after the service for anyone who has signed up for membership. It's going to be a couple of hours, or maybe less than that, because I can do things a little bit faster than I would normally do them, but it's a wonderful opportunity to understand the inner workings of CSL Granada Hills and how you can participate in the ongoing seva of this center, as Beverly so wonderfully shared with me the other night. Youth Church is meeting today also. Reverend Nicole is in the back. Apparently we don't have any youth today. The youths are out doing something else somewhere. And she's doing some wonderful work along with Jenny with the education, whatever that is. There it is. Yes, and the children's beginning drums and guitar, theater, Tai Chi, meditation. They're ongoing and they're open. So if you know people who have children in elementary school and middle school especially, because that seems to be the most difficult time for children, and they get kind of mean when they're in middle school for some reason. And I have 2 children, so I have evidence to support that. Children's, let me see, what else is on here? Sangha. The new Sangha is Consciousness is What I Am. That begins March 6th at 9:30 in the morning. And again, see Reverend Nicole. She's got her fingers in a few pies around here. So check in with her. And I think, let me see, what else? Is that it? That's the last one. All right, so now you know everything. All right, so our Declaration of Principles. Would you please stand for this? And together, we believe in one universal spirit, manifesting through all, natural and incarnated in us. We believe that the universal spirit is personal to and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe that our faith operates upon the law of mind, which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life, and in the immortality of the individual soul forever expanding. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the givingness of life to all.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed.
I am so blessed.
I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So I was sharing with Jason, because I love that rendition of Here Comes the Sun. So we had a longtime member here. Some of you may remember Marilyn Collins. And she had a twin sister, Carolyn, who was a Methodist minister. And she wrote a book entitled God the What. And I think we still have a couple copies. And she explored in a Methodist-y kind of way the many names of God. And one of her favorites was God as jazz musician. So just, we all have to bow now to Jason. And I like that. I like that idea, right? So the Spirit is constantly and consistently recreating all of life by recreating bits of itself, right? So we have this cycle, this law of circulation, from which things are breaking down and then being reformulated into something new, and that we are a representation or an individualized expression of that creative activity within the human experience, right? So we come to this teaching to explore notions of there's a power for good in the universe available to everyone. We can use it. And at the end of the day, what we're really demonstrating is the creative power and presence of the Most High. Even though sometimes we can go, oh, what a mighty consciousness I have. Look what I just demonstrated. Or, God, what demonstrated this? That must have been someone else. Yeah, okay, well, that's not what I'm talking about today, but. So this month's theme is that's how we've never done it. And today is a brand new baby day, which the first time I heard Mary Morrissey say that, I went, oh, God, I don't like that. But I've learned it's grown on me because I am an ever-evolving vessel of consciousness. But, we've had some good preparation for this year of 2024. So in January, if you remember, we got back to basics where we reviewed science of mind principles through the first Roman numeral chapters in the textbook, The Science of Mind and Spirit. And we reconnected with the teachings of Ernest Holmes. And we went through all that, and at the very end of that, the Roman numeral chapter, he writes this, that a new light is coming into the world. A new light is coming into the world. We are on the borderland for the new experience. The veil between spirit and matter is very thin. The invisible passes into visibility through our faith in it. A new science, a new religion, and a new philosophy are rapidly being developed. This is in line with the evolution of the great presence, and nothing can hinder its progress. It's useless as well as foolish to make any attempts to cover this principle or hold it as vested in any particular religion, sect, or order. The truth will out. The Spirit will make itself known. Happy are we if we see these things which, from the foundation of the human race, have been longed for by all aspiring souls. True thought deals directly with first cause. And this science is the study of first cause, spirit, or the truth, that invisible essence, that ultimate stuff and intelligence from which everything comes, the power back of creation, the thing itself. So that was month number 1, January, as we're making our way through the solar system on spaceship Earth. The axis of the earth tilting now towards the sun. The days are getting a little longer, a little warmer. It's a little more light early in the morning. Then we got into February, where we explored divine discomfort through the lens of Black History Month. And I have to say, I really enjoyed hearing from our friend Reverend Gordon Bailey, with whom we share the sanctuary on Sunday evenings now, 5 p.m. And I have to say, for myself, as a new arrival to America, because I still have a green card, that's another story, I'm always fascinated. I'm always fascinated by families that can trace their roots back to the 1600s, right? And then we had Reverend Amadi Hines, who shared his own story, reminding us from an African-American perspective, using these principles, that in order to have an expanded life, we must be prepared to grow into it. And that the life that we currently have is not going to be the life that we're going to have, because this is the life we currently have, right? And so if we're stating that we want to have this expanded life, we must be prepared to grow into it. We must be prepared to step into it. And sometimes there's resistance there. I also found it interesting how a small minority questioned that Black History Month is celebrated at all. And I wonder how they feel about this being Women's History Month. Yeah. I'll tell you, I won't stand for it. I know, it is laughable, isn't it? So back to basics, a month of divine discomfort, and now where we land today, that's how we've never done it. Now I have to say, that really reads very clumsily to me. And I even looked it up online to see if it was proper grammar. You'd be very proud of me, Dr. Maureen. But it turns out it is. There's something called the past or the present. Anyway, it's grammar. It's just one of the sacred mysteries. So, but perhaps I'm the only one who feels that it reads kind of weird. I think it might just need a before on the end so that it says, that's how we've never done it before. Okay? And while adding the before, then, there is an implicit inquiry into the after, right? Or maybe what's next. Now, sometimes that's man, that was great. What's next? And other times it may be, man, I'm glad that's over with. What's next? Right? Either way, we have tools here. We have tools to not only unpack and explore the question, but also the power to engage with the creative impulse of life itself to set a new course. That we are not, our feet are not locked into, cement overshoes. We have committed ourselves to a life aligned with the evolution of the great presence, and also to really know that nothing can hinder its progress. This is the grand experiment that the science of mind and spirit is to prove how this is so for us in our own life, and maybe to even witness or observe how it's true in the lives of others. And with more practice, to maybe even call in a larger life for all of life itself. Right? So there was one who was the great example rather than the great exception, who kind of called his version of what that might be. And it's still 2,000 years later, it's still kind of evolving, right? So, we commit ourselves to live a life aligned with the evolution of the great presence, and to really know that nothing can hinder its progress. So for this to make itself manifest, we're going to have to take action that moves us out of the before, or our old way of thinking, and reset our course to the after. And now in between the before and the after is the right now, okay? The right now, as it happens, the right now is our point of power. Yes? Can we do anything about yesterday? No. Can we do anything about tomorrow? No. Our point of power is right now. So our point of power is the right now, the thought that we dwell on in ways conscious and often unconsciously, where we choose to exercise our power of choice. Now, how can we know what it is that we are thinking about? Well, all we have to do is look at our life, how it's out picturing. What does that look like? How is our life demonstrating? With a sense of clarity, direction, hopefully forward momentum, with room for spontaneity, creativity, and joy? Forward momentum? Or is it something else? Well, if it's like most lives, it's kind of a mixed bag, yeah? So we may be firing on all cylinders in one particular area in our life, and we have other places that may need a little work. That's okay. So in our class, Mental Equivalence, we have been exploring this question from different angles, but the bottom line is that the before was a mental equivalent, and the after is a mental equivalent. Right? A mental equivalent is that new idea, or the idea that either we've just are emerging from, or we can create and imagine, we can vision a greater idea of our life yet to be. So in this way then, the present moment is the launching pad for the mental equivalent of the after. So a conscious afterthought, if you will, one that has feeling in it, feeling, imagery, language, with a sense of clarity, confidence, authority, knowing that this new mental equivalent is impressing itself deeply and significantly upon a law of mind that always and only says yes. A law of mind so pure in its love, and this idea that it says only yes, so pure in its love that it appears to be impersonal, available to everyone, without any concerns of, there's no moral authority in that. There's no judgments around what you did yesterday. It's simply the faith and belief that you have in that moment, the feeling behind it. It's not even the language, right? It's imagery, right? I keep going back to this because I love the story so much where Eric talks about wanting to make welcome a relationship that was as comfortable as an old pair of Levi's, right? And that demonstrated as a 42-year marriage, right through to the finish line. So the thing that I like about that is that it's not tied to language, this thing that we're talking about. Right? There's a feeling component, there's imagery, there's a vibration, right? The main thing about that is how it works for you. That resonates most deeply within your own heart, so that when you speak your word, you can feel the belief and the feeling and the authority vested in it. Now, in the world in which we currently live, this may seem like a daunting task. Perhaps we are swimming with sharks of unbelief, right? Including our own struggles, our own doubts, right? Naysayers of various kinds, from online to in the home, right? Friends who tell us, oh, that airy-fairy woo-woo stuff. Anybody have someone at home like that? I have a whole family full of them, right? And I have to say, I don't know why what we teach here is woo-woo, but it's not woo-woo to believe that somebody raised from the dead. How was that not the ultimate woo-woo? I mean, and you know what? Both can be true. Both can be true. So, naysayers of various kind. That's okay. That's okay. In the end, it's better for me. That's the moral of the story, as the song goes. Because whatever we may be facing today, 1 minute from now, it's information only. Right? I mean, that's how close the past is. Like, there it went. There it went. So the past is for information only. So one simple practice. All right, so I think sometimes people get bogged down with having the proper wording, and I have to have this vision, and I have to have this grand vision for my life, and I have to totally figure it out in some kind of, creatively poetic, quantum physical kind of way, right? But that, I don't really know that that's true. It's helpful. I mean, if you get a hit like that, grab onto it for sure. But maybe it can just start out with a simple practice like this. And I actually have been doing this for a few days. So when you awaken and you are aware that you're awake, right? Just roll out of bed, right over the side of the bed, and then let your leg take you down, and you can just kind of hit your knees, right? Which I'm not really one of those guys who hits his knees. But it's a good way to get your attention in the morning. that just say, this too is for good, this too is for God. Just that one simple thing. I rise to meet the new day, filled with confidence and strength. Let's repeat that one together. I rise to meet the new day, filled with confidence and strength. And now, like you mean it, I rise the new day, filled with confidence and strength. What kind of day do you think you're going to have if you start out with that? That's not going to be one of those little passive mamby-pamby kind of days. No. I rise and go forth into the dawn, inspired and refreshed by the living Spirit within me. That's like a kick-ass consciousness, man. Yes? Yes. And Reverend Dr. Maureen will tell you all about that in the beginner's workshop also. To start our day with this simple affirmation, to set in motion an energetic of life that we are consciously working with the flow of life, consciously working with the flow of the law rather than working against it. And starting from this perspective ensures that we will not be knocked off the vision for our life. Even if that vision for life is that I want to have some peace, some serenity, a sense of harmony. Those are good things. That's a good place to start. How about some joy? Some spontaneity? Maybe a little passion to spice it up a little bit? Whatever that is for you. But the one thing it is for sure, it is the creative impulse of life. For this is the nature of the divine. Underneath all of it is to continue to express itself, to evolve, to create, to make something new out of what was once old. To create, really making things out of itself. And in some crazy, wonderfully cosmic way, we are the individualized expression of that creative power also. There are so many ways that we can demonstrate this that require no material anything. Think about how a painting is made, right? A song is written, a poem is composed, a business is started. Even making money. Money's a total imaginary thing, right? It's a construct that we are in agreement with. But it's not backed by anything anymore. I mean, think about it, except our belief in it. So if we need more increase in that way, what needs to grow? Our thinking around it would be a good start. There's one life. There's only one life. That life is perfect. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. This is in line with the evolution of the Great Presence, and nothing can hinder its progress. It is useless as well as foolish to make any attempts to cover this principle, to hold it as vested of the right of any particular religion, sect, or order. The truth will out. The Spirit will make itself known. And I would say the Spirit always makes itself known. Happy are we if we see these things which from the foundation of the human race have been longed for by all aspiring souls. That true thought deals directly with first cause. And this science is the study of first cause, spirit, or the truth, that invisible essence, the ultimate stuff and intelligence from which everything comes, the power back of creation, the thing itself. So we have this construct of the beginning of existence, for us at least, in this solar system of the Big Bang, right? The Big Bang. But what of the power behind that. That's what we're talking about. An intelligence, creativity, power, love, light. Put that one in your metaphysical pipe and take a few puffs today. When we embrace the idea of our life as a life of freedom and choice, a subtle shift happens. We're no longer bound by the past, nor do we fear an uncertain future. We embrace the idea that we live, move, and have our being in the Most High. Even more than that we are expressions of the Most High, uniquely individualized. And so is everyone and everything else too. So I let go of yesterday, and I have no fear. I have no fear of tomorrow, for this day is God's day in my life and affairs. So that ultimately the thoughts of the tomorrows and the yesterdays are swallowed up in the great realization of the perfect here and now and the complete now. So this photograph here is of Clare Island. My poor cousin in Mayo has to look out her kitchen window and see this sight every day. All right, so that's Clare Island, and then behind you, if you go up the lane, is where they cut the turf, because they still do that there. And so this month of March, as we're moving into the spring now, right? And I love this, my own connection now with Celtic spirituality, because it is so tied to what's going on in the natural world and how to convert the experience of what's going on in the natural world to what's going on within our spiritual world, and how they really are one and the same, expressing. And I think in our urbanized life, it's easy to lose sight of that. So that's why I like spending so much time at O'Melveny, right? Because it's close and it's relatively undeveloped and safe. The coyotes can't get you. So I wanted to share this with you here. It's a poem from John O'Donohue, who wrote the book Anam Cara, among others, an Irish poet and theologian, and a friend of David White, I should say the late John O'Donohue. But his poetry and prose lives on in the hearts of many. So just take a deep breath and release. Just allow yourself to anchor into this moment and receive these words from John, where he speaks of new beginnings. For a new beginning. In out of the way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you were ready to emerge. For a long time, it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness grow inside you, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered, would you always live like this? Then the delight, when your courage kindled and out you stepped onto new ground, your eyes, young again with energy and dream. A path of plenitude opening before you. Though your destination is not clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Though your destination is not clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning that is one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure, holding nothing back. Learn to find ease in risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you. Taking a deep breath. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is our life now. So as you go through the rest of this day, contemplate your own new beginning and ways to make that welcome. And observe the shift this week as you go about your business. And come back next week and report with each other what's changed.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, my pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for, and it's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. And it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, my rain has gone. I can see all the obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. And it's gonna be a bright, oh bright, sunshiny day. sunshiny day, and it's gonna be a bright sunshiny day, and it's gonna be a bright sunshiny day.
All right, you guys.
Happy Sunday.
Thank you, Victor.
You cheated him out of that low note, man.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. All right. Nicely done. Jason Goldstein, everybody.
Thank you.
Give him some love in the chat as well. So Chloe's going to bring up our offering basket. If you've come prepared with a physical offering this morning, bring it on up as the basket is clear. And for those of you who continue to support us online and through the mail, deep gratitude as we go into our offering song, which sounds like this.
Spirit gives through me, Spirit receives through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me, Spirit gives through us, Spirit receives through us, Spirit lives and breathes through us. Spirit lives and breathes through us.
All right, so going within just a moment longer, let's take a deep breath together. Recognizing that this basket represents both the heart of the individual, the giving heart, the generous heart of the individual, also the receptive heart of this spiritual community. The generous heart of the individual who knows and knows that they know that God is our source, our substance, our supply. The receptive heart of this community as we accept these gifts with deep love and respect, as we know together these gifts go forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. By whatever avenue your gifts find their way to the center, through online giving, through the mail, through here in person, that they go forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless anyone connected to this center in any way. And so from this place of gratitude then, we extend a blessing upon our community of Granada Hills, our city of Los Angeles, our state of California, our United States of America, all of its churches, temples, mosques, schools, universities, the people who attend them, the people who support them, that we know in some crazy, cosmic, wonderful way that the mystic power of the Most High is expressing itself in, through, and as this manifest life in ways seen and unseen. And knowing this, we see its demonstration in ways great and small. This lifts our hearts. We feel a sense of grace and power that propel us into ways of spiritual living that not only raise our own life, but the lives of those around us as well. And that's a good thing. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. Amen. So let's give it up one more time for Professor Jason Goldstein. The Professor of Jazz, and Reverend Dr. Maureen. And all of you for getting out of the house and making it into church. You know what? This is a round of applause. It's an old Boy Scout joke. It wasn't good then either. All right, we'll see you next week.
So I'm going to step away here for a second, and Reverend Mike doesn't know I'm doing this. Rosalie, come up to the front. It's Rosalie's birthday today. Come here. Come on. Everybody, sing.
Happy birthday to you. birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rosalie. Happy birthday to you.
One more announcement. So just so you know, next week you got to change your clocks. And it's also Practitioner Sunday, right?
Yes, it is.
So all the practitioners will be here next Sunday. If you've been shy about getting a treatment, show up next week and they'll all be here,
Yes.
right up front. Or you can
Yes.
grab them. Pray for me.
Yes. So you're all here today, and usually what we do at the end of the treatment is circle up for the peace song. But how about just standing in place today where you are instead of trying to make a circle with so many people here? That's a good problem to have. Good problem to have. All right, if you'll join me in consciousness and know with me right here and right now that Ernest Holmes says that if we abandon God in our hour of need, have we ever known God at all? And so today, it's about knowing God, knowing that the power and presence of Spirit, by means of each one of us, is creating life in a way that suits each one of us. While it may not appear that way on the surface sometimes, it is exactly where we are and where we're supposed to be. Knowing that, as Reverend Mike said this morning, there is one life. That life is my life, that life is God's life, and that life is perfect right here and right now. The measurement of perfection is not by anybody else's standards. It's by our own standards, that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And that human experience sometimes takes us away from who we are intrinsically. And yet we always find our way back. We always find a soft place to land by going within to that perfect place of peace where nothing has ever been violated. And so I know today that this was a good morning. The music, wonderful, wonderful music, wonderful uplifting information from Reverend Dr. Mike, and wonderful people in service at this center today. Knowing that this is my creation because I needed this, not necessarily because anyone else needs it. That is what we do when we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And so today I send you off in safety and in good order to wherever it is you go, whatever it is you're doing today, knowing that, as always, with God, all things are possible, as we say together, and so it is. Stand for the peace song.
Begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as a power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. With me, let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment